And have you decided on your ruck policy? Will you go in with one ruckman, or will Vardy play? Can you tell us yet?
Yeah, we'll wait till this afternoon. But I think what's going to happen in the next month or so, we're going to have to explore a few different options. So we're going to confront some pretty solid rucks this in the back half of the year. So we're just going to have to explore what we do. It's all a little bit different for us. You know, we've always played the two rucks for obvious reasons with Nick, and you know, there's opportunities to do both. So we'll probably look at both, and we'll make a call on that this afternoon.
Can you talk us through your decision-making process on both things? What are the key issues you have to assess for those?
Well, it's varied. I mean, do you want an extra tall on your side or an extra small, really? And can you handle? Can Scott or Vardy handle the load of a one ruck role, which takes a bit of time to develop? You know, you need that match fitness and the continuity with game time. So that's the first thing. Can you get an advantage with two rucks? You know, not many teams do it, but we've found a way. So is that us? You know, can you get an advantage with a small, with a forward pinch hitting, which we've done before in various stages? But looking through all those situations, how do we maximise opportunity? That's what we're looking at.
You mentioned over the next month you'll explore, but could it be a case where over the next year it's kind of horses for courses, where some weeks you might play one, other weeks...
I haven't thought about that. Come on, give me a bit of time. So we obviously we didn't have Nick last year. So what did we do last year with that's why we got Drew to help fill the void. So Drew's a all Australian 300 game forward that pinched it in the ruck. So what are we looking at? So those things, I'm not losing too much sleep over it, but we've got to work through some different scenarios.
Yeah. So what did you learn last year when you had Drew as that pinching forward but played a bit of ruck, and then Vardy on his own?
I don't know just what you learn. It's just what we handled. You know, that's what we confronted. We and they worked at various stages, and various stages it didn't. So I mean, it comes down to how well you ruck, how well Drew played. So that's not a brand new combination. Most teams do. Well, every team has a combination. So we're just working through ours without Nick. So yeah, I'm not. It's not it's important for us, but you know, there's a lot more that goes into a game than just that.
Last year you didn't have Nick and you didn't have Lycett. This year you've got at least Lycett now for the run home. Are you better off now?
Oh, I think so. I mean, we've got and Vardy's had a year like he never rucked before he got to West Coast. So now, in particular over pre-season, we had a pretty good combination. This year without Nick around, we had Vardy and Lycett going toe to toe. It was a really good battle. And then Bards went down with an injury. So I think Vardy's evolved, and of course we've got Scott. So that's our platform. And then when you got Fraser McGuinness, and then you got Jack Darling and Gov, maybe a mid, I don't know. So we'll start working through that next few weeks.
How many minutes can Lycett handle per game?
Oh, well, he did a pretty good job on the weekend when Nick went down halfway through the second. So I'm assuming he can handle the load. Eventually he can play a full game. But to jump up with the ruck contest, they're the things that you work through with your sports science guys and your strength and conditioning, and what can he handle, because it's not for 1 week, so we've got to be careful. It's not just throw him in the deep end. So that's what we're working through.
He's been a backup player, or the second ruckman for most of his career. He must. You talk about opportunities and stuff. He must be excited about the chance to lead the ruck for the rest of the season. Yeah. He I wouldn't call him a backup player. He's been a pretty important player for us when he's been available. He just hasn't been available like Nick. So this year he's had a good run at it, and I think we've seen some pretty positive signs. We played him at full forward 2 weeks ago, and we rucked Nick and Vardy. So he's got flexibility, and he'll have an opportunity, no doubt, in the coming weeks where he's going to carry the load. How do you change when he's the ruckman compared to how Nick's the ruckman?
We just got to adapt. Yep.
No. Over the year, you've had to mix and match them. They've been one on, one off, into the ruck all year. How are you a different team when Nick rucks as opposed to during games when Scott rucks?
No, not this. No, we don't change what we do when Nick's on the ground or Nick's off the ground, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. So we haven't changed that. Nick's been important for us, but it's not a completely different way of playing when he's on the ground. So he's been an important player for us, Nick, but we think we can find ways to win without him in the side, and that starts on Sunday.
Has the urgency to re-sign Lycett increased now that Nick's out for a long period of time?
No, that hasn't changed. The urgency was there before the weekend, so that's like all of our restricted free agents. We're desperate to sign them. We've been doing everything we can, so that hasn't. I don't think it's possible to ramp up anymore.
Do you feel like there's any progress with those three free agents? Like, do you feel like before the end of the season?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's been important from my end that I don't talk about things publicly, so I'll continue to do that. But we're doing everything we can.
Nick was at training yesterday. Can you just give us an insight into, has he spoken to the group? Has he been involved with the group? How has he been and how's the group been?
He's been pretty good. Yeah, pretty resilient. I think once the initial shock of the second knee hit home for him, yeah, he had to deal with that, like a lot of people who do their knee have to deal with. But he's all smiles around the club yesterday. He's at training. He'll get it. I think he'll get an op next week and get on with rehab. So we move on, don't we? So unfortunately, that's his lot this year, and he's still part of our club and part of our side, just in a different way now.
Have you spoken to the group about him and time to sort of move on?
Yeah, we've gone through all that. Yeah, but that's all done.
I remember the first one was it took a while before the operation could take place because there was other damage. Am I right with that?
With the first operation?
Yeah, so is this one a different, has he not done as much damage
Yeah,
to allow the operation to go straight away?
I don't know those details, yeah. So every time the medicos talk about that stuff, I drift off. So all I know is he's getting his knee done next Wednesday or Thursday.
Has Barras come up okay?
Yeah, but he's available, so we'll work through that. But his back was a bit tight for a number of weeks. He played some limited minutes on the weekend, and now we've got to work through whether we change what we're doing. And I think he's a very good young player, so he's available.
It was reported that Josh Kennedy didn't train yesterday. Is he all right for this weekend?
He trained, yeah.
All right.
So
How's Liam Ryan going?
he's going well. Yeah, he won't play this week at AFL level, but it's probably down to form now. So his spot in the side was, not questionable, but he's working to hold his spot in the side. So now he's got to earn his spot back. And he played pretty well last week, kicked 3 goals. Really contributed with some pressure. So he'll play at East Perth again this week, and he's just another player trying to get in our side.
Was it what happened that's kind of made him have to earn his spot back? Is that kind of like
No, like I just said, his spot in the side was due to form. So getting back in now has got to be through form. So the suspension that we handed down was warranted, and we still haven't waited. The results and the investigation hasn't finished, but that's sort of parked that now. Now it's back on. And he plays well enough, he'll get back in.
Do you know how many weeks it might take?
No, I don't. No, sorry.
What was the suspension? Was it that 1 week, the initial 1 week he missed AFL action? Or?
Yeah, we made him unavailable for 2 weeks at senior level, and just to let things settle a little bit. And the second week he played at East Perth.
Yeah. Just on the Bulldogs, what have you made of them this season?
Yeah, I heard on the radio today, I think 11 or 12 of their premiership players are in the side. So the last 8 games they've been in front or thereabouts at half time, and they beat the Cats a couple of weeks ago. So we are fully aware of what they can do.
Their second halves have been a really big issue. Do you guys sense an opportunity there?
No, I haven't spoken about the second halves. No, we've gone pretty hard at what their strengths are, what we're going to confront, and how we're going to combat it in the first bounce. So that's our focus.
What are some of their major strengths?
Well, look, they've got that experience now of success, which is always in the back of a player's mind when you've been to the top. There's that self-confidence that you can bring, the ability to use the ball. They use the numbers. They handball a lot, and they've got inside 50s. They've got pretty good supply. I think they average 54 inside 50. So, yeah, there's parts of their game that are really good.
The boys that came back last week, your big forwards, have they recovered well and they all set to play again?
Yeah, they are. They're always in recovery mode, those boys. So there's always going to be a report that someone saw, because that's just how they are every week. And I wouldn't say they're sore. It's more the way we manage them. So sometimes it looks like they're carrying an injury, or they're limping and hobbling around. That's just how they get through the week. So that's how they're managed. But they've pulled up okay.
Because they had a good response the first game. Is there any fear the second game that it's a lot harder?
Sometimes that's true. Yeah, sometimes that's true. Second game up after an extended period of time. I think Jaco missed 3 weeks, so it's not like a heap of time. So, and Darling worked his way into the game. I thought he was a bit rusty early, and by the time we finished the game off, I thought he was, really contributing. So, yeah, we'll see how they go. But they're pros.
Because where they come into your thinking the selection this week, could that potentially help someone like Dom Sheed if it is wet?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure what the weather's really going to give us. Reports say it's going to be pretty windy and lots of rain, and then it might have eased up a bit. I think we're going to cop a bit tomorrow, aren't we? So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. It could affect selection.
Could you leave it to Sunday potentially?
Yeah, that's the opportunity we have. So we've got East Perth playing tomorrow, so we'll have to hold one over. Whether we hold more than one, probably not, but we'll see how we go.
It's getting to that stage of the season where the older players across the competition, everyone's sort of talking about their futures. Obviously, Mark Lecrae's a guy here that everyone's talking about, sort of looking forward. How have you seen his form? And when we have that discussion with him about next year?
Well, I haven't spoken to him about it, but we're really happy with his form. Yeah, I think everyone who's seen him play this year, I think what's helped him more than anything is the youth coming through. So, the Venables and Rioli and Waterman, Petruccelli, Ryan, I think those have given him a lot more energy. He's leading really well off field, and he's holding up his end. So he's in pretty good touch. He's obviously missed a few weeks with his wrist. So we'll work it through the back half of the year. We'll worry about that in a few weeks.
I feel like those guys are taking the burden off him a little bit. It seemed like you had to do a lot like Crum and get up the ground and sort of a few different roles to play in the last couple.
Yeah, he's carried a lot the last 4 or 5 years. Really been our sometimes they're only small with experience, and expectations have been really high on him, and I think he's handled it really well.
So he's more than capable of playing on next year.
We'll have to weigh that up. Have to talk to him. I don't know if he wants to, but if he does, it's worth a discussion.
Is the loss of Nick for 12 months, will that change your trading, recontracting, drafting, do you think?
We'll have to look at it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this management meeting, so to see what we're going to do. So we're going to not have Nick probably for most of next year. So how we manage that's a bit like what we had going into the draft the year before when we got Drew, which obviously was widely criticised at the time, but we needed someone to fill the void.
Could you look at that again? Do you think
Drew? Still looking all right, actually. He's still out there at training, and that's up for debate. What we do. Yep.